So, let's talk worlds. Yes, everyone, we all know in Kingdom Hearts there are so many things that we could talk about. Keyblades, gummy ships, Sora's weird-ass choices in boots. Seriously, sir, can you get normal-sized shoes? But nothing has been more iconic in the Kingdom Hearts franchise other than the worlds at large. And so that's what we're going to be covering for the second countdown within Kingdom Hearts Month. Hey everybody, I am Keyblade Master V, holder of the Cosmic Lion Keyblade, and joining me once again is my awesome editor and coolio buddy of Chris from HeyItsMeChriss, as we go over the top 6 worlds in Kingdom Hearts. And that could be from any of the known titles, but not touching on Kingdom Hearts 3 as it is, as we've already established at the time of this recording, not yet out. So let us begin the countdown at number 6.
You walk away, you don't hear me say, please, oh baby, don't go.
Coming in at number 6, my choice for this one will have to be Deep Jungle, aka the Tarzan world, only featured in Kingdom Hearts 1. Oh yeah, I'm starting this list off very, very controversially. Oh yeah, I went there. Yeah. So before the Edgar Rice Burroughs contract was ran out on Tarzan, this was quite frankly a fun-ass world to play, and I really wish they kept the contract alive long enough so we can still play along with Tarzan and Jane, where the whole entire story plays out kind of like the movies, but not entirely, if you get my meaning. Where it's Tarzan trying to fight for the apes to allow Jane and her father to visit because they're exploring Africa, and if they see this, they'll probably stay longer and blah, 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 blah. Only difference, though, is Clayton's involvement with the Heartless, as well as Sora and Donald and Goofy's involvement, is because Sora, being the impatient 14-year-old that he is, mostly just wanted to spend time bullshitting about and wanting to fly the gummy ship, even though he has no idea how to fly, because he's a dumbass 14-year-old trying to fly a spaceship that was built by a Chip and Dale and Mickey. Basically, 2 chipmunks and a goddamn mouse and a duck named Scrooge. Sit the fuck down, Sora. Where in his whole humble idealism, this stupid dumb fuck then crashes them down, where I'd be pissed off if I was Donald too. But eventually they make up over the course of the whole journey because friendship is magic, yo. And we then get a kick-ass sort of jungle-like Keyblade, as well as some fun-ass minigames of swinging around, being dicks, sliding down tree branches, being dicks, beating up small little black mushroom Heartless, like dicks, beating up white and red mushroom Heartless, you know, like dicks. You know, all those fun things. But why only at number 6? Well, like I said before, contract ran out on whether or not they could still use the property from Edgar Rice Burroughs' family, and this is the only standing testimony, it being in the first game and never coming back. That left a bad taste in my mouth. Chris, you take over with your number 6 pick.
Isn't this romantic?
Here's your check, sir.
Ugwa!
My favorite picks are mostly biased because I'm a huge fan of Disney, and along with being a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts. So a lot of my picks are just because I really love the experience of each world, or because I get to relive my childhood. A video game, and that makes me so giddy. For my 6th pick, I would have to go with Hollow Bastion. I know what you're thinking. Why? But I'll tell you why. Because it's the last world you end in, unless you want to count the weird moment when you're fighting up against Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, which is setting in, like, Destiny Island. It's really weird. Hollow Bastion pops back up. Lots of things happen. This is when Mickey and Riku show up, and that's all I'm gonna say about it.
You walk away, you don't hear me say.
Okay, coming in at number 5 for my pick, let's go a little bit cliched with one of my favorite worlds for the sake of just
Tournament!
We interrupt this program to bring you an important message. Tournament!
which I'm talking about is Olympus Coliseum. Yeah, I'm sorry for ripping everyone's eardrums apart, but at least hear me out. Olympus Coliseum being one of the titular worlds that has come back from the very first game and even the prequel games to then go into the future sequel game, which is, quite frankly, astonishing in how much lore and how much storyline has happened in just this one world alone. I mean it. The fact of the matter is, this world got so much more story than any other world, besides maybe two to 5 other worlds I can think of, that actually had long-lasting things that impacted multiple games. Except for Dream Drop Distance, because not a lot of people were focusing on whether or not it fell asleep in the... it doesn't matter. So, this being a Hercules world, this was focusing on not only the journey to be a hero, but also a world where Sora, Donald, and Goofy had to prove their worth as heroes to a fucking satyr. Keep in mind, all of you mythology fans out there, they're trying to prove their worth not to the gods of Olympus, but to a goddamn rapist. Satyrs are more known for rape and for music than any other creature I've ever seen in mythology besides satyrs, who are known as drunks. Drunks, partiers, alleged rapists, and kidnappers. This is not high esteem for Sora and his friends. However, it does allow him to team up with one of Greek's I'm not even gonna bullshit. The 7th best hero they could think of. Sorry, Herc, but you're no Bellerophon or a Perseus. Hell, you're not even Theseus's dumbass, and he fucked up royally. Still, though, you get to team up with Hercules, which is kind of cool, to then also team up in the sequel game of Kingdom Hearts 2 with Final Fantasy X's favorite bad boy, One-Eyed Samurai of Orin. And in the prequel games of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, you get to team up with Zack Fair, the actual protagonist of Final Fantasy VII. Come at me, fanboys. I'm waiting for the hatred. This gives off so much of different fights throughout the entire movie, as well as trying to intertwine so many different storylines that it couldn't be ignored for how bombastically absurd it has been. Where even now in the sequel games, it is how Sora ends up getting his true powers fully activated for his outfits by simply visiting the gods. This boy went from proving his own hero status to being recognized in Kingdom Hearts 2, mind you, to also trying to get his powers fully activated from the gods. This world is weird. But why is it only at number 5, you're probably wondering, from all this absurdity? Well, although it has more lore for itself than Deep Jungle, the fact of the matter is, it's a Hercules world that does not feel as fleshed out as it could be. From all the stuff that you have to interact with it, from Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 2, Birth by Sleep, Recoded, sometimes the world felt more empty than it did feel fleshed out. Certain arena battles didn't really make a lot of sense, but the mini-games alone did have the highest selling point for why it was a returning world to begin with, as well as being the rage-inducing monster that gave us the #1 secret boss that everyone rage quit and broke their controllers over unless you knew the exact tricks for, a fucking Sephiroth. Get the fuck out of here, you one-winged emo douchebag cock goblin. But still, he gave off enough of an appeal to be a badass sort of secret boss, as well as being the high selling point for the first game. And Olympus Coliseum was fun, so yeah. Number 5 spot isn't that bad of a slot. It's not that bad. But now let's go over to see what Chris chose for her number 5.
Huh, I thought I saw $1 on the ground here. Maybe over here? Damn it, now I just look stupid.
My 5th pick is also Olympus Coliseum. Same reason that V, but also I love the underworld part of the game and the second Kingdom Hearts, where you get to see more of the story unfold and you get to see more of Hades. And he's, Hades. Here's the V for his number 4.
You walk away, you don't hear me say.
Now for number 4. This one is a mixed bag for reasons, and that's Atlantica. Yeah, how do I begin? So we go from the first game in Chain of Memories, where it was an action-packed game underwater of Sora, Donald, and Goofy trying to help Ariel find her way to get a special trident for her secret grotto that would allow her more memorabilia of the outside world, as well as teaching Neptune himself that all of the actions that he's preventing Ariel from will only drive a wedge more forward, as well as giving us a interesting boss fight against Ursula herself. That wasn't the big issue because it's very formulaic, but at the same time it was kind of nice, and it did allow us to have small inklings that Neptune actually knew about the Keyblade Wars as a small little inkling that Sora probably should have asked Neptune a little bit more information on his first visit, because maybe Neptune, as a god of the sea, could tell him a little bit more details that he's forgetting as the so-called chosen Keyblade warrior. But I digress. The mixed bag comes from Kingdom Hearts 2. The singing levels. Now, if you guys are completionists and you're just like, oh, I have to complete the game to its entirety, otherwise I'll go insane, this will probably be the breaking point of Kingdom Hearts 2 if you're trying to get the ultimate weapon, because this is how you get the Orichalcum Plus, by doing all of the singing missions, all of them, and try to not rip your ears out from ear-bleeding music such as...
Swing this way, we'll dance and we'll play. Now it's very easy, come on and just take a chance and shake a thing.
Let the music move you. You can do it.
Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything?
The seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake.
You dream about going up there, but that is a big mistake.
You're under the sea.
This witch is back to bring her wrath upon the sea. Triton can't be rid of me, not that easily. And like all who dare defy me, he will learn his lesson well. Never toy with a girl like me.
Welcome the dawning of a happy age of new beginnings. Land and sea will come together, join in peace and harmony.
Thank you, Chris, from all of the agonizing examples. I should probably pay you more. But nonetheless, though, it's still being a mixed bag because the first 2 installments that had it actually made it fun, giving us some nice swimming mechanics to also giving us some very fun atmospheric battles. Did feel more at home than just, oh, here's just this one world where you're gonna be fishmen walking around, not swimming, mind you, just walking around with just gills on your necks, having legs. That sort of mundane thing. But yeah, this being number 4 for a reason above Deep Jungle and Olympus Coliseum, I must be drunk and crazy. But no, I'm very much a person that likes to use unpopular opinions as the leeway towards my top 3 choices, seeing as As much as I love Deep Jungle and Olympus Coliseum way more than Atlantica, the fact that it fell from grace is why I feel so bad that it could have gone way further on in its own lore than it had been. Plus, it doesn't hurt that it's kind of alluded in different interviews and assumptions and speculations that it might be coming back in Kingdom Hearts 3, where we're finally going to be doing Little Mermaid 2 and having Ariel as a Link summon. That Link summon part isn't the rumor, that's actually confirmed. Watch the trailers, they're awesome. So, let's go and see what Chris's number 4 pick is for her side of the top 6.
No way in hell! Yeah, alright.
It's one of my picks for being a bias pick. It is Beauty and the Beast one, which is called Beast Castle. It's not in the first one. I think it's only in Kingdom Hearts 2. I'm not sure because I haven't played all the Kingdom Hearts. Don't kill me in the comments. But I do love Beast Castle because the story of Beauty and the Beast it's fantastic, even though it's kind of creepy because he's a, animal. But whatever. It's also reliving my childhood. And I don't think there's really any point to Beauty and the Beast, except that Beauty is one of the princesses for the, diabolical plan for the evil villains. And then I think one of the organization people are there. But I just like it. It was cool to be in the castle and to meet all the other characters from the film. Yeah.
You don't hear me say.
Now for number 3. Number 3 is kind of an interesting one because so many people got very sick of this choice very quickly. I, on the other hand, loved it. So, Agrabah. Yep, we're going into the world of Aladdin, everyone, of Agrabah. I don't know what the fuck it is, but every time I played this entire world, I just had a smile on my face. I don't even know how to fucking start. From every appearance that it had within the franchise at large, it never once felt very cheap in its delivery. It never once felt like, do I need to really play this level? Do I happen to need to do this? I need to think my life through. I need to get all of my effects in order if this is the bullshit I'm pulling today. Unlike other worlds that I can think of, Pirates of the Caribbean. But instead, it felt pretty much a good enough story by itself by trying to retell the first 2 movies in its nice enough effect to also add in heartless effects, since Jafar was one of the hierarchies of the darkness. And it also gave way to Sora having more human moments with one of the princesses of hearts being Jasmine, and almost made me wish that Kingdom Hearts 3 allowed Agrabah to come back, but that's for a later discussion video, where we're also following the storyline. Where is the interest factor in trying to go to Agrabah? Well, that's kind of simple. Everyone that's been a fan of Aladdin, whether you actually saw the TV show or the movies, the world itself seemed like a very fun venture that, even if it gave us more characters as well as CPUs, NPCs out the ass to make it seem more alive instead of like a ghost town, I'm just saying, it never once felt hollow, as if it gave us nothing of merit or anything of enjoyability or any sort of likability. It had that home field of Disney's whole, we're trying to be ethnically appropriate, but also trying to be whimsical in our magic and ignorance, that you can't really hate. You just go in there, you like it, even if it seemed kind of fucked up in many different areas that should be evaluated, but still. And even by those standards, it wasn't that bad of a level in comparison to what you could have chosen. And that in and of itself is kind of the biggest problem for why it's only at number 3. Despite it having so many enjoyability factors for it, when it comes to it being enjoyable, that's not the question. But the repetition from how it's trying to relive all the things from the movies that made it so popular, as well as having no inkling for a more complete finale in the future games, is kind of the biggest detriment, since I felt like Disney wanted Robin Williams to close out the game for itself with Agrabah as a whole before his death. And that leaves a bad taste in my mouth because it's been noted for years that Robin Williams and Disney have had back and forth of not liking each other for various reasons that have never been fully disclosed. Some stuff that are open, some stuff that are still behind closed doors, and that aren't our business. Still, word of mouth is word of mouth, actions were actions, and if we were to close it out with Dan Castellanin instead of with Robin Williams, like how I imagine Square and Disney wanted, I would be more disappointed as well as more disgusted because of how much of an enjoyable factor it could have been for the original Genie to come in and close the entire trilogy as a whole. But enough about that sentimental stuff. Let's focus now on Chris with her choice for number 3.
Also, why does no one question Donald and Goofy's existence? There are regular animals all around town and you think this is fine? As well as Mickey Mouse?
Third pick is It Has to Be, which is also very biased because I love the film growing up. When I was a little girl, it was my very first movie I think I saw of Disney, and I loved the crap out of it, and I still think it's like my favorite Disney film growing, like even being an adult. I'm gonna have to say Pride Land, and I don't really have any good reason. I mean, you're a lion, which is really freaking awesome. I mean, you get to relive my childhood again and hang out with Simba and just, I don't know. I don't have a good reason. And a lot of the fights in it and the boss fights and stuff, it's really cool. Yeah, I love it.
You walk away, you don't hear me say.
I'm going to do a cop-out and say the very first world that you appear in Kingdom Hearts history. Not the prequels, but in the entire publication history, Destiny Islands. Now, keep in mind though, we have not seen the entire extent of Destiny Islands, but this is the birthplace of where it all begins for certain individuals. Being the home of not only Sora and Riku, but surprisingly of Xehanort himself, as well as seeing where the time travel events come into play, where past him meets his future self from the past, then intertwined with his future self to, it's all stupid. And then being the surrogate home for Kairi, one of the princesses of Hearts and a Keyblade wielder in her own right, makes for this to be, quite frankly, one of the best worlds as well as the most memorable worlds. This is not a game that decides that, hey, since you wanted to do this for so long, let's give you a generic world that gives you no substance, no memorability, no anything whatsoever. Let's just give you a blank slate with nothing of true merit. Instead, it gave us something that had heart as well as true lore for itself that I couldn't really dissect in one countdown alone. I could do it, but I'm losing my vocals, so I have to keep things short. Still, for it to just reach a number 2 is an astonishing trait in and of itself, but why is it only at number 2? I'm kind of biased about my number 1 thing. So, unfortunately, due to my own biased nature, Destiny Islands is not going to be number 1, but at least it's in the top 2 spot, so at least don't hate me as much. Don't hate me as much. So, to save me, I'm just going to segue over to Chris's number 2 real quick. So, pow!
Wow, I never actually noticed before. What the heck is Sora actually wearing? What, it's like a weird onesie kind of thing with a tiny-ass jacket and a belt?
My number 2 is also biased, like all the rest of them have been. Most of them, like 3, 4, and 5, have been biased answers because I really don't have a good reason for picking these, but that I like the film and they were great or something like that. So my number 2 is Halloween Town, which it was almost a close between, well, it was close between Pride Land because I couldn't decide which one I wanted to be second or third. So these are two basically like mashed up. But I love Halloween Town. It's such a great film, whatever. You know, Jack Skeleton. He's a skeleton guy from Halloween Town and trying to make Christmas my 2 favorite holidays put together. It's amazing. It's this weird story, and I love it that the Kingdom Hearts has it in here, and they have it for the first and the second one, which makes me super happy. But I'm so great at these countdown videos. Thank you guys for watching and putting up with this. Okay, bye. Well, not bye, because, you know, there's still one more countdown. Or more, another first. Yeah, bye. La, la, la.
どんな時だってずっと二人でどんな時だってそばにいるから
Okay, now to finally close stuff out with number one, where unfortunately this time I'll be the only person closing out the countdowns at all this whole month. This one list alone. I'm sorry, Chris. But my biased opinion has to get out there now because so many people are gonna question the fuck out of me for this. Halloween Town is my number one choice. I have no words. The only reason this is number one is because Halloween Town is my favorite world, only because Nightmare Before Christmas is my favorite film out of a lot of different claymation films. Even higher up than Coraline, which I wish had a better game adaptation. I have no real poetic thing about how interesting or intricate it is, because it's kind of straightforward in its whole absurdity, like anything involving things of the Tim Burton elements. Even though this wasn't a film that he directed, he just helped, but still. So yeah, due to my own stupid biased nature, this is why I'm only placing this at number one. And this is why I wanted to go first, because I'm sure Chris has a much better choice for number one. Chris, you take it from here, buddy.
What the? I don't want to talk to the bird. It's Mickey! Ow!
So unlike V, I have picked one that is not biased. It's actually one that I actually chose for a reason, not just for, you know, because I thought they were cool and I am biased and love the films and was happy to relive my childhood in a video game. But this one is actually Destiny Island, which he picked for a second. It was going to be Pride Lands. Almost was. I had it wrote down on my paper as Pride Land. But I figured I needed to end it very sweetly, or begin it very sweetly, since this is number one, for it to be Destiny Island. Because Destiny Island is where the video game started. And it's like incredible to think about how long this game has been out and how many hours I spent playing this game. The first one, I spent hours and hours grinding and playing all night and having to go to school the next day and with no sleep because I played this game. So Destiny Island is the way it started at all. It's where Kyrie is from. It's from where they're all from. Like Sora, you know. It's just crazy. Well, Sora's not from it, but Kyrie's from it. And then, like, it's just so cool that it started from this. And it kind of ends that way. And it keeps coming back to Destiny Island. So, I don't know. That's just, you know, it's a crazy, amazing ride that I've been on with Kingdom Hearts. So, it's a good ending, or a good number one to choose from. Thank you, V, for letting me be a part of this countdown. You are awesome, and I'm nervous about these videos, and I hope I did a good job. Alright, bye.
And that's where we're going to end things here with the top 6 list. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any sort of worlds that you feel like you really did love, let us know in the comments below, because there are so many different worlds that we over or underlooked that we really should have put on this list. But since it was only a top 6 list, it can vary to whatever the fuck you want to do. So, we're now going to prepare for the third and final countdown, which unfortunately I do not have time for because, well, I'm late for a battle with a certain someone that owes me a new keychain. So I will see all of you wonderful Keyblade warriors later. And Chris, thanks to you once again for helping me with this countdown. Alright, Keyblade warriors, I'll see you all in the next countdown and the next video.
Let me tell you a story.